I realized in the kitchen that I cracked them, and then was like, oh, I shouldn't have cracked them. We can cheers them, though. Bottles, we can hit a sweet clank. Ooh, spicy.
That's nice bottle
nice
sounds.
Little, that should be our bleep whenever we say something we don't want to say. The bleep should be that doop. It'd be like, I hate doop people. Gotta find my mic height. All right, there she is.
Yeah, man, yeah. So,
we're here.
I wanted to talk about Alan Watts. You know who Alan Watts is?
Nope.
Alan Watts is a philosopher.
Okay.
Who specifically studied Buddhism. Lived in Japan for a while.
Okay.
Taoism.
Okay.
A lot of Eastern philosophies. And then he'd come back and he'd give American lectures, I think in like the 60s and 70s. I want to say that was the time. I think he's dead now. I think he's passed away. But people listen to him all over still. It's crazy. We actually had an intro to our show where Alan Watts says some things about like living the dream, like living your dream.
The band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we would play a show, we had Alan Watts
when
like
you were
intro.
At the
Have
Urban
did you see
Winery.
it? Yeah. You saw it. Where Alan Watts talks about dreaming the dream, and if you can dream everything all the time, every night, what do you end up dreaming? You know, you kind of like it to be a surprise. And so he's like, that's kind of like the dream of life. Like, think about, it can be whatever you want it to be.
Like projecting?
Yeah, I guess. But just in regards to the Tao, he was talking about how, you know, if you look for it, you're never going to get it. So, okay.
End up in my
So,
Taoism.
I know we were just talking about the Tao. And
yes.
we can continue to talk about the Tao.
Yes, we can.
But I'm going to make an interjection eventually. And I'm going to completely 180 the subject because I just thought about it. Okay,
right,
but
so hold on.
We're going to continue to talk about the
Alan
Tao.
Watts.
You have
Alan
questions.
Watts.
Okay.
Alan Watts.
Okay.
I feel like I've heard the name.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I knew that, but I'm not too sure.
Okay, so have you ever...
I do like some philosophy and some religion and some like theoretical shit. I do.
Right.
But I'm also not educated, so I don't remember people and who said this and who said that.
Right.
But I think I do. I think I've heard that name before. So pretty much what I'm getting from you, Alan Watts, speaker in the 60s.
Yeah, he was a
About
professor.
Taoism?
I don't know where.
What's Taoism?
So
Give me the
Taoism
simple definition.
It's an Eastern
Religion?
Asian religion,
Way of thinking,
religion,
philosophy,
ideology,
philosophy about what? Peace, kind, love, war, like
about everything is the Tao. The Tao is everything.
the Dow Jones,
The Tao is
stock
nothing.
market,
The Tao,
DAO, right?
DAO or TAO.
Well, you know the Dow
Spelled either way.
Jones, DOW.
I understand
Okay.
the stock market
Shot.
joke.
Yeah.
We understand the stock market.
How much Doge do you have? I'm just kidding. All right. So the Dow, DAO.
Yeah.
The Dow, it's a religion.
Yes,
Or is it
Taoism.
Taoism is a religion.
Spelled with the T. Taoism.
Religion.
Yeah.
What are we practicing?
It's just like...
Monks and Buddhist shit?
No, it's different than Buddhism.
Okay.
It's different.
I'm asking. I'm
I'll say
genuinely
all right,
asking.
So, and I feel like the layman too. You think like I'm some educated academic, but I'm
have
far from
dreads.
it. I am far from it. Now, I have my own
When I walked in
understanding,
here
which
today,
I
you
think
were in
is
a
like
robe kissing a puppy with a candle lit. I'm just kidding. No, seriously. You think you're like, oh, you think I'm some professional? I'm like, dude, I
got
probably
you. So
know the
if I summed it up,
1%, and you might know the 9%. So you know
if I
9
summed it
times
up,
more
it's
than
like
I do.
you
Give me
could
Taoism.
like a Judeo-Christian understanding of it would be like Tao is God, and it's everywhere, it's everything, all the time, and nothing at the same time.
Energy?
Call it whatever you want.
Okay.
That's how I look
Taoism.
at it. That's Taoism. And so,
Who's practicing this? The Chinese?
many different...
Taiwanese?
It doesn't matter the country or the
It's an
ethnicity.
Eastern Asian...
Yeah. It's just like a cultural
way of living.
And so, I don't remember where I was going to go with it.
Is the book the Tao? It's got to be a book, right?
Yeah, I guess it's a book. I guess, yeah. I don't remember.
Is it Taoism for Dummies?
They probably have that.
That would be sweet.
You can get that. You can get for dummies for anything. You can get literally how to drink beer for dummies. You're like, you just drink it.
You gotta tell me more about the Tao. You gotta tell me more about the Tao.
We'll continue the Tao.
Yeah, but I want to know about it. I'm curious now.
I will. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I got my P's and Q's and T's and I's or whatever they're called. And I'm going to make sure they're all good so we can talk about it later.
Yeah, cross the T's and come on the I's. Dot the I's. Okay.
So I want to interject.
Okay.
Because I was subjected to like a PSA. It was like a video of like being in an active shooter situation.
Okay. Where you were subjected to at school?
At work, yeah.
At work?
And so this was like, hey, guess what? This is kind of, it's not mandated. It's just literally the dude was like, cop, hey, I'm just doing this for y'all because, you know.
It's suggested?
No. The county doesn't do it, but he was like, hey, let's just do this. Let's maybe have a plan.
Today?
This was a couple days ago.
Okay. So you just were setting up your...
So we had a meeting about something, and then it kind of was just like tagged on at the tail of the meeting. Okay. And I was like, was this put on the Google Calendar? Because it's a video of like an active shooter situation.
No, I got you. It's training. It's online. It's training.
Right.
I mean, well, when I was in the Air Force, they used to make us take all types of like training, like sessions online. Sexual assault, active shooter, survival training. And they're like 40, 50 minutes of just like what you should do in this type of scenario. So is that kind of like what it was? Like, if there's an active shooter in this setting, these are the things according to this video, like kind of like a PowerPoint with examples of what to do.
And anybody got any other ones?
So
anybody got any suggestions?
You had to watch this?
So we watched it.
Visual,
video.
How long?
And it was like B-rate acting. So
of course.
Someone would get shot in the leg and they'd be like, ah, you know, like.
Could you imagine if they had an active shooter video with like Leo and Brad Pitt and like Jonah Hill?
A-list.
And it was just like.
And it's made by, who's the guy who makes Avatar?
I don't know, but I wasn't going to go Avatar. I was going to go, what if it was made by Quentin Tarantino?
Yeah.
Where it's just blowing people like in the fucking Django Unchained, just.
I was just going monetary,
Is it
like
Cameron.
Yeah,
Cameron.
James Cameron. I was going like multi-million billion dollar
highest
big
thing of all
budget,
time.
but it's like a 2 minute
I was going
PSA.
Django where they just shoot people 20 feet away with a shotgun through a door.
Yeah,
like,
100% Tarantino. I would rather watch the Tarantino version.
So you're telling me if the active shooter video was like Leo and fucking Jamie Foxx in a class, well, in a school.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The situation was in a school. The video we watched, and you know they're showing. Teachers.
That's where all the active shooting goes on in schools.
And then there's like teachers crying. I'm like, oh my goodness. They're like, y'all should have at least put this on the Google Calendar. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's got to be traumatizing to some people.
Yeah. You know?
I mean, the boys are like, yo, if there's an active shooter in here, trust me, I'm killing them.
Dude, no. And so it was just, it was funny because when I got home, damn if I didn't get on like YouTube or whatever, and it was
and
like
find the same video.
It was like an active shooter PSA, but it was just Tim Dillon.
Did you watch the whole video?
It was Tim Dillon just trashing, and so this was another one that he was like, "This isn't for like teachers or schools. This was like corporate
like
America,
office.
Home Depot, Lowe's. They all used it. Like you know,
like my manager fired me. I'm coming to work and killing.
And that's
everybody.
what it was. And it was like, please don't. You're better than this. But it was like B-rated acting. People were like, it was humorous while also being informative because it was funny. It got pointed out that they were like, yeah, no, they didn't say anything about the cops showing up. They didn't really give you any hope. It was just like, hey, maybe you run, maybe you hide.
In the
Good
video?
luck. I mean, yeah, it was just like a shitty PSA.
Jesus.
Yes.
Don't you feel like you should be held accountable, though, if you make a video like that and it doesn't fucking work? I don't know. That's a pretty, like, That's a pretty ballsy stance to make a video about like what to do in an active shooting situation.
And then people listen to you and it doesn't work.
Yeah, like if you're not like an agency or something. Like if me and you were like, hey, let's make an active shooter.
Right. Because most of those like corporations or organizations, they pay lots of money for the training and it's just a sham.
But you know what's crazy?
They're like run and hide.
During the active shooter situation, I think the thing you're supposed to do is like shut the door, blockade it, turn the lights off, and like lay on the ground. Right? Isn't that like what you're supposed to do?
Yeah, and then sit, not on the cross from the door, but sit next to it, not in shooting range.
I just feel like
they could just shoot through the door.
The people that are active shooters in schools and workplaces,
they've gone through the training,
are actually the worst active shooters of all time. Like if you really got someone.
That was the point. They've gone through the same trainings. They're doing the same thing. They know what you're doing. So it's weird. It's just a weird situation.
How
about this? Here's another story. I seen a video today where some girl got arrested for domestic violence or some domestic dispute. Mm-hmm. She's in the back of the cop car with her hands cuffed, and she gets out of the cuffs. And apparently the partition from the back seat to the front seat, there was like a gap where she reaches up and grabs the AR-15, pulls it in the back seat, loads it up, and starts chopping out the window with one arm. Like, yeah.
You marry that girl. Because she is going to stand up for you no matter what. Yo, if you fucking ordered a baked potato and didn't get the right toppings, and they arrest you for being too drunk at a Chili's, you better believe she's pulling the AR-15 from the cop car and just blasting so you can get out of there. Holy shit. Dude, people are batshit crazy.
People don't hesitate.
Have you ever been handcuffed?
They don't think they think. No. Never have I ever been put in handcuffs by a police officer.
I've had a couple times. Never been put in a cop car, though.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, I have that instinct to where, you know how some people, when the cuffs go on, they either like, okay.
Fight or flight.
Or they're like,
power.
Rage. Dude, you have to understand, when the cuffs are on, the worst thing you can do is not cooperate. Really.
Yeah.
You have to be like, even if you are in the wrong and you fucked up, you're making it so much harder for yourself.
Yeah.
If you're like,
I'm
about to fight off 15 of these cops.
Think about the people in the back that
Can you imagine
like,
walking through a river and someone said, hey, you can walk across that river. It's only like 4 feet deep.
Mm-hmm.
You're 6 foot tall. You'll have 2 feet of clearance. You can either walk across it in swimming trunks or fully clothed in winter clothes with a 25-pound weight on your back. That's the fucking example of the handcuffing cooperating and not cooperating. You have to go through the river no matter what.
So you might as well.
So you might as well just take it in the bathing suit. Don't fucking go.
Right.
Don't.
So you know what a spit hood is, right?
Nope. Oh, like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Think about people make that choice in their head, too. They're like, you see that person right there? I'm just going to spit in their face. And they're like, get the spit hood for them.
Get the spit hood.
They're like, before they get on, like, spit another one out like a llama.
It's crazy. I just think...
Yeah, they make those choices in their head.
I've been handcuffed a couple times, and my choice is always, how can I get out of this? And it's by being like, oh, yeah, okay. Yes, sir.
That's because you have a certain degree of intelligence.
I also have a clean
Some
record.
people think the best idea is to llama spit in the cop's face.
Yeah. My favorite thing is always being like the... oh, you're handcuffed, you were disturbing the peace in there, blah, blah, blah. And they run the record and it's clean. And they're like, hey, you have one of two choices. You can leave or you can go to jail.
And you're like, I'm leaving, thank you.
I'm like,
that's why the record's
so
clean.
Sorry
have a good evening.
Causing any inconvenience tonight. I'm going to head out. Like, all right, if we see you out again tonight, we're going to get you. And I'm like, understood.
Yeah.
And I just walk down to the next bar and get tanked even more.
Right. You're already there, so you think you're saying stuff like that, but really, they're
really,
like, I'm letting this drunk off. They're like, all right, we're just going to let the drunk off and give him one chance.
Do you remember
I don't know.
the pizza place? Do you remember the apartment above Mojo's?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember if you walked down the block and took a right where that 7-Eleven was?
Yeah,
There
it's
was a
like
pizza place before that.
By the Slice.
By the Slice.
Yeah.
don't remember what it was called, but do you remember like we would go there and get like giant slices of pizza?
Yeah.
I definitely had a cop kick me on the street and wake me up and be like, "Hey man, you can't sleep here." And I'm like, "Huh?" And I realize I'm laying on the street, passed out, and he's like, "Hey, you can't sleep here, bud. Where's your ID?" And I gave it to him, and he's like, "Hey, where do you live?" And I was like, "Oh, right over there in those apartments." And he was like, "Okay, well, can you make it back to your place?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Okay, well, if I see you out again tonight, I'm gonna take you in." And I was like, "Okay." Once I got my slice, went back to the apartment.
No, I think that was the time that you tried to smash the door down and got it stuck.
Yeah.
So when we showed up with the keys, we couldn't even get in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was broke.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Dude."
Because I think we showed up like the next day and you had slept on the washing machine.
That was the New Year's. That was the New Year's.
It was a New Year's night?
Yeah.
It was that night.
Yeah.
It's lots of nights, but
it's lots of
I
nights,
remember
that was
night.
the New Year's one. I tried to kick the door in. I didn't realize how hard it was to kick a door in. I kicked it probably 30 times as hard as I could, and the people that were in that apartment, if there were any around there, had to have heard it.
Like someone's breaking in.
Like if you took a baseball bat and tried to break that door down.
Yeah, clearly.
And it didn't break down. I was kicking the door as hard as I could. Boy. Deadbolt.
Yeah. We paid $1,000 flat for that place.
And you know what's crazy? Is the next day you were like, "Dude, we're going to have to pay to get a locksmith to fix it and everything." And I was like, "Bro, give me the phone." I remember calling the apartment complex and being like, "Hey, I think someone tried to break in my door last night. My deadbolt doesn't work anymore. Can you guys like send someone up to fix it?" And they just fixed the locks. I was like, pussy. Remember we went to McDonald's that morning with all the girls to get breakfast and they cried because they were so scared of me and so drunk the night before? Like, what fucking happened? I don't remember.
Yeah, dude.
They're crying over a fucking Egg McMuffin. Like,
yeah, I think it was at least 2.
I tried to fight 30 dudes.
Yeah, I think it was at least 2 girls.
They were like so drunk they were scared. Like the next morning when it wore off,
they were like, them the next day.
"I can't believe I actually went there." And I'm like, "Dude, I live there. Fucking welcome to the
asleep
show."
Out there.
Dude, I remember one of them. We're not going to name names. Walking the hallway trying to fight dudes.
I don't remember that.
And I was like, "Bro, what?" All right, so the girl I'm talking about, I'm not going to say her name. Do you remember being at
a friend's house?
And that girl hanging out in the garage and hitting a cigarette one time, being like,
passing out.
Yeah. And we were like, "What the fuck is going on?"
It was probably like 3 or 4 in the morning.
It was like a split personality. This person was crazy. Yeah. And we were drinking beers, and she was like, "Let me hit that fucking cigarette." And we let her hit it, and she just was like, froze, and then was like, "We're like, you alright?" She was like,
Yeah, she did scream at the top.
At the top,
her
like
lungs.
Bloody murder. And we were like, "Yo, get the fuck out of here."
That was a joke.
But this person took like medicine.
Yeah, I thought it was a joke, but I don't think it was a joke.
Oh no, it wasn't a joke because that person legitimately several times
I think
presented
they
that was not
out.
a joke.
And then I think maybe after that they passed out with that same cigarette.
I just remember me and you being like, "Yo, get the fuck out of here. This is crazy."
Yeah.
I carried that same person down some flight of stairs and dropped them all the way to the bottom on Halloween.
That's
I
wrong.
got you. And said,
That's wrong.
No, on accident. I fell too. It wasn't on purpose.
I think I remember that too. How many places have you ever been before where you're legitimately scared? Like, this is one of the weirdest situations I've been in. Like, it kind of like grounds you in the moment, your heart, and you're like,
honestly,
like,
I don't think.
I think I'm imagining.
I think I end up in those places because I'm so gone that I'm not scared. But if I wasn't, I would be.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you're kind of detached from the
reality. Like I would only
it.
End up in that place because I'm already out there. I've entered the portal.
Yeah, You're
my theory on
you're
alcohol
too
is like that game Portal where you shoot the blue portal and the orange one opens. Second you take a sip, the blue portal hits and the orange one opens. The further you go down the line, the deeper you go into the portal.
Okay.
It's like after one beer, it's like the blue's here, the orange is on the other side of that door. So you jump into the blue and you come out the other side of that door. And you're like, oh, that's kind of close. When
Having
you're
a great
12
time.
deep,
This is great.
You're like bouncing to another state.
Okay. And you're like, how'd I get here?
You're out there and you're like, whoa, how'd I get here? But I'm going to embrace it.
I'm going to live it up. I'm having a great time.
I think I've been probably in plenty of scary situations where I'm like, if I was sober, I would be like,
it's called browning out. Where you brown out?
Yeah. Like, this isn't a good idea to be here, but because I'm so far into the portal, I wouldn't be here unless I entered it.
Right.
So I'm here and let's enjoy it. I kind of like embrace those. Like, I like kind of getting scared.
Those are more of a rarity. I think it's because of just like going out and exploring your world as a new person, as a young person, exploring in all different ways, all different times, all different places, and you're really more open to that.
Yeah.
I think maybe some people are more open to it than others, but I think it's like, the developmental stage, and I think there is probably a certain age where you get to a certain spot and your body composition is like, you don't need to do that anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here inside.
Yeah.
Because I pay money to sit here in this place. And you know what I'm saying? So your brain, your body works different. You're like, hey, I'm just going to sit here.
Oh, no.
Got to wake up in the morning.
It's
whatever reason,
nice being comfortable. It is. It really is the best.
But it's funny, too, because like even looking back, call it 10 years ago, there were still those instances where you'd show up and be like, hey, this is what we're doing. It's a full night. I've got this. I've got that. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to probably stay here. And so maybe it's just like a part of my personality, too.
I think everyone's different. I know I always like to push the limits. I like to go to places where I'm like, I've been to the edge of the world, and I'm going to come back from it. I like to go out in the deep waters.
How so?
Well, sitting on the couch and playing games or watching TV is the shallow water.
Okay.
It's predictable. It's easy. You know what you're going to do.
You're having a good time.
Sit here.
You're wading in the water.
Comfortable. Got the blanket on me. I'm going to play this game. A couple hours are going to pass. A few drinks. Then I'm going to go to bed. It's predictable. It's comfortable.
It's nice.
It's nice. It's the best. It's the fucking best. There's nothing like just getting a little bit of water on you and just relaxing. But my brain, I don't know why, I like to take the deep waters. Because when you're out there, you're like, dude, I'm about to either have an experience or a moment that I don't forget, or I'm going to die. And I don't know, maybe that makes me like an adrenaline junkie or excited. Like,
what's the worst that could happen? Death.
Yeah, it is.
And you're like, huh.
Yeah, but like, dude, I mean, I just think there's too many moments where if you play it safe and you're always on the couch with the blanket and the game or the TV show, are you the person at the end of your life that's like, man, I wish I took more shots?
100% you are.
So, and I'm not saying that I want to be in deep waters every day, because I think that's where you end up with those like the good die young type stories. Mm-hmm. Like
going a little too hard for the body.
Like, died at 37, man. It
right.
sucks. That's sad. You don't
want
to see that.
A little too hard for that body.
But then again, maybe it's not sad because that person was like, bro, I love the deep waters.
And they lived it.
Fucking loved it.
Best life.
Some people
good
love
life.
The shallow waters. Some people never dip their toe in the motherfucking water. Yeah. And they're happy with it. Again, I think it brings us back to that that point of, my body, my choice, man. You know what? And that's really what I've like come to grasp with, is that you can't like put your lifestyle onto other people, because everyone has a different depth of water they'd like to be in. I like the deep. I like
Some
the
people
shallow,
might not like it.
about
Some
4 or
people
5
might
days
not be
a
able to
week.
swim.
I like a deep water every once in a while. You know why? Because I'm like, oh shit. Do you know what could have happened? And there are some times where, guess what? Being out in that deep water was a bad idea. It's like, bro, that
was out there a little too long. I'm shriveled up.
You know what could have? You know, if another second out there, you're
gotta drown.
Yeah, but also too, some people that are in the shallow, man, they I think they look back and go too, like, damn, I never had to fucking fight for it. Just kind of always known what it was, and It's been comfortable. And to each their own, and everyone should be able to experience their fucking life at the beach the way they should be able to experience. And I just know that for me personally, I like to go out to them deep waters from time to time.
Yeah.
I like to push it.
Fun. And guess what? It's because I can swim.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I can swim.
But it takes a certain person to swim. Some people can't handle that fucking...
But you learn how to swim. If you want to swim, you swim. It's just like going to Mount Everest, dude.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Oh, see, now that kind of an endeavor for me is a no, but to someone else who's like, dude, why don't you go
yes, I can imagine.
I'm like, oh,
guess what? It requires this of me. I can imagine that. It requires that of me, and I can imagine that. And then I've done it. I think that's just like swimming in the deep end. Yeah. That's how I look at it.
That's a physical endeavor.
Yeah.
I like to take the mind to the deep waters, not the body. The body's harder to recover from.
Yeah, that's why I've been more recently conscious of taking care of my body.
Yeah.
I try to be.
If you break
Which is something that young person really doesn't do.
Femur in half, it doesn't matter how strong or healthy you are, that bitch takes time to heal.
Oh, yeah.
You can take that mind out into some deep waters and take a day or two to come back from reality.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Here's a little thing. When you walk up to a pool in the summertime and you're looking at the deep end, or you're standing on the end of the diving board, maybe not on the diving board. You're just standing on the edge. Do you like ease in real slow at the steps and then ease in real slow and then go under, or do you just jump in all the way?
I'm full jump in.
Yeah, me too. I do that.
I jump in.
Yeah.
People that are like, whew, it's cold once you get to the knees. It's cold. I'm like, just jump in and get it over with.
Yeah.
2 seconds, rip it, send it.
But when you go in slow like that, the genitalia, it's like hard to get under.
Oh, yeah, it hides.
Slow. You have to. It's easier just to go all in, jump in.
Immediately at the pool on a pool day. Once it's like, all right, time to get in the water, I just jump in the deep end, hit the bottom, swim over to the shallow, come up, and we're here.
Yeah.
But again, that's the thing, man. I think everyone, approaches. I think the water can be life in this example, and everyone approaches it differently. Some like to go into the shallow end down the steps, walk into it slowly. Yeah. Some like to dive right in. I'm diving in.
Yeah. So one thing I do know about the Tao is that people say that you can't look for it. So when you're looking for it, let's call it happiness. You're not going to get it.
Yeah.
Happiness isn't around the corner. It's not after the job. It's not after the marriage. It's not after the kids. It's not after the retirement. It's not after it's got to be here and now. And I think that's what, going back to the Tao, when I think about it, that's what it is. Because you got to trust yourself, trust who you are. You know who you are, and you're confident in that, and you make the best decisions you can in each and every moment, and really ground yourself there, because you never know if you're going to get another moment. Mm-hmm. And I think that's another thing about it, is being conscious of the ever so fleeting life that we have. A speck of dust.
Yeah.
Blowing in the wind, a paper bag, dancing amongst the leaves.
It's kind of like, it's like instinct, right? Like, I mean...
Yeah, and you have to be confident in that.
You have to...
And if you need practice to make yourself confident, and if you need to work on certain things in your life, mental, physical, emotional, with your relationships, whatever it is, if there's things that, that's what I'm saying, you know who you are, where you need it, and it's hard. It's hard, I've had this phone for months.
Yep.
I just haven't hung it up. Sometimes it's hard even to do things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I mean, it's like sometimes you know the answer, but, just sitting down and doing the work is the hardest part. I heard something the other day. It was a good quote. It was from a show. And it said, you're smart enough to know there's a bigger picture, but you're not smart enough to know what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think, like you said, like...
there's one.
There's one.
You can't see it all.
It's kind of like,
Well, it's just like...
I'll think about it tomorrow.
So, there's another metaphor someone I heard. It's like driving down a road at night. Just a night. Think about like a Midwest highway, straight.
Just black.
You can't see anything. All you can see is...
the strips that are just
right in front of you. The light. All you can see is the light.
And Slender Man.
And it's what, like you said, 20 feet.
Yeah.
Maybe you might see Slender Man.
He's definitely about 20. I think it's probably like a 5 to 10. It's not far.
Yeah.
When you're out in that pitch black country, it's...
You gotta get nice LEDs, man. Get an upgrade.
You got LEDs on the fucking...
I think so.
Yeah?
But...
Sports package.
Yeah, you can only see a little bit in front of you. Each little step, you can only see the next step, the next one. You gotta go 100 miles. But all you can see is what's right in front of you. And watch out, Slender Man, you're in the Midwest. That's where he lives.
Yep. But no, that's a good point back to the Taoism thing about like trying to find happiness. You can only see so far with those headlights. You can only see 5, 10, 15 feet, maybe 20 if you got the LEDs. But
that's right.
You can't see the 100 miles.
Right.
So why try to look that far?
You know it's there.
You can't see it because guess what?
Believe.
Even if you could see...
Have faith.
Even if you could see clear as day the image of that 100-mile mark, you still have to travel to get there. Mm-hmm. So why not just enjoy and take in the what you can see?
Yeah.
Until you get to that point. Because guess what? That point is not guaranteed.
Yeah. That might be the last drive. You drive to work every morning? Oh, it's just another drive to work in the morning? Oh, just another one? Guess what? Some people don't come home. Some people don't make it to their work.
It's a miracle that we make it through each day because the amount of factors that could take us out of this world are astronomical.
Especially when I go 70 miles per hour for multiple hours.
Yeah. The reason our founding fathers rode horses because they were like, yo... Even at 30 miles an hour, we'll survive if we fall off this. Yo, if you think about it, 70 miles an hour?
Yeah, I know.
And
it's
like
to
not wear a seatbelt, which is the craziest fucking thing.
Yeah, I was bad at that.
You're
in
back,
the summertime.
You're back on it.
Yeah, I use my seatbelt now. 100%. Every single time I get in the car, I use it. I'm a lot safer now. Because, like I said, it just takes time for you to really get the perspective. Like, I was talking about action sports earlier. And I was like, think about, like, especially with action sports.
Action sports?
Like boarding, skating, snowboarding, like, skydiving's considered an action.
Like extreme sports.
Extreme sports.
Okay.
Think about that and think about the level of physicality that it requires.
Okay.
And think about how easy that is for a young body.
Yeah.
Call it, 16. That's why a lot of young skaters, 16, 17, 18, they got, and they can take the skills. A 20-year-old
hitting a 30-foot vert doing a 1080 on a snowboard.
Make that a 40-year-old.
Way better of an idea, like, theoretically, than a 40-year-old doing it.
But I said, just think about your body-mind connection. Mm-hmm. And how that is very much real. And how your body dictates what your mind does. Your mind dictates what your body does. I believe that. Your body's struggling physically, it's going to impact your mind negatively. And vice versa.
That's a spinal cord. It's a connection.
If you're in the gym every day exercising and having a good diet, you're going to have good mental. It's fact. It's scientifically proven.
Yes.
But yeah, think about that. With double the time and where the body's more fragile. Think about your body sending messages to your brain like, you should wrap it up, bro.
Yeah.
You take another one of those, you're done for, buddy.
I think that's why fear creeps into your brain the older you get. Mm-hmm. And it's not being scared. It's your body. It's your mind trying to protect your body.
And vice versa.
It's like, hey, man.
And vice versa. Your body's
your mind's
going down
like, this black diamond.
Come on, I can do it, though. My mind, come on, I can do it. Body's like, no, bro. You can't.
Because one spill, and that's going to be days of recovery. Shit, months, potentially.
Yeah, it's real.
I was thinking
about it, and I was thinking about just time.
There are some times where I think about snowboarding, and I'm like, man, I would love to go back out and just carve. I know, but also, what also creeps in is that, like, dude,
I could hurt myself.
That wipeout is just so brutal.
Yeah, but you would take it slow, and that's why
I know, but that's the thing. I don't want to go out there. I'm the diving into the pool. Fuck the shallow end. I want to go get after it. If I'm out there, I want to go play. I want to go play.
You want a bomb?
Hey, I've been watching Hard Knocks. Do you know what Hard Knocks is? Mm-hmm. Okay, I've watching Hard Knocks. Yeah, this year's the Detroit Lions.
Gotcha.
And only seen the first episode. Second one's out right now. But one of the quotes from one of the players, I think it's Jamal Williams, the running back, was, "If you're gonna piss like a puppy, stay on the porch. Let the big dogs eat." Dog, if I'm going out to the mountain, I'm not pissing like a puppy. I'm gonna fucking go eat.
Yeah, but you can't eat on the mountain when you're 65 years old.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's how you go piss like a puppy.
I don't want to go piss like a puppy because I'm not one. I want to go out and eat, but I also know to go out there and eat, you have to be a type of person, and I'm not that person. I'm like, I'm just going to stay at the cabin and drink old fashions.
Right, I get that. But dude, that's where you look at, shout out to Mike Barwick, man. Yeah. Dude, action sports, dude, he's getting there. He's still taking the time just like us. Body's getting older. Guess what? He's still shredding.
I'm not trying to be 32 on the bunnies, just like
he's not
cruising.
On the bunnies, man. You can cruise on the blacks.
Yeah, but he's got 30 years experience.
And if you continue to do it, you'd have the same. It's it goes both ways, dude. If you choose whatever deep end you want to dive in, and you got to dive in. And if that's not your deep end,
and it's not,
you're not going to dive in.
I think I've come to terms with myself that the action sports is not my deep end.
It's not.
That's my shallow end.
There you go.
Because of that, I'm good. I just not go to the pool.
Yeah, dude. Shout out Mike, dude. He was showing me some footage of his surfing.
Surfing on the phone.
He got a new paddle board.
It's sick
He's
as
got
fuck.
the GoPro out there. Yeah, dude. He's a hell of a good skier, expert skier.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's his deep end. Mm-hmm. The action sports. That's not my deep end. And it's tight. In some way, shape, or form, that'd be sick to be that deep
Isn't Mike
end.
an engineer? He's an engineer, right?
Sure.
I think so. Yeah, I think he is. But he's a good mechanic too, man. He's got his. Everybody's got their deep ends. They dive in, man.
Yeah.
You dig deep, just like anything, and you realize. I think the more you dig, you're like, whoa, this gets deep.
Yeah.
Whoa, this is deep. You're like, yeah, I can go once or twice a year, and I can have a mediocre, average level of skill and enjoy myself.
Of course, you can do that with almost anything.
But it's deep. If I was out here every day, I'd be deep.
And there's a deeper level to everything.
Yeah, with anything.
You can pick up a guitar and just pick a couple little songs and be like, oh,
you can learn the G, the C, and the D.
Yeah. Or you could just go so deep to the point where you're like, infinite number of possibilities.
I'll get another shout out, dude. The new style metal music, I think. I guess it's melodic hardcore. It's a band called Polyphia.
Yeah, I don't know who that
is. It's a guitarist named Tim Henson. You can look him up. Mm-hmm. And he incorporates a lot of different techniques and styles into his guitar playing. Super technical, super high speed, fast, melodic stuff. You can check it out. Yeah.
The water just keeps getting deeper.
Yeah.
And everything, though.
Yeah. And you can always, and that's for me, that's why I like to read. I'll read everything about everything. The more I can read about something, the better I can understand it. I was talking about...
Oh, see, I disagree with that. I think the more you read into it, you're the better I understand it. I think the more you read into it, I think the harder it becomes to understand because it gets deeper.
Right, but you understand that it's that way. And you accept it. And it's okay that I don't know as much about playing a guitar as somebody else.
Oh, no, of course
I don't know much about audio equipment.
But you would be a fool to think that you're the most knowledgeable person on any subject.
Some people walk around like that.
Yeah, and they're fucking douchebags. And they get dropped in the subway.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, you get dropped eventually, right? Life drops you, huh?
I think for you to be at anything, whatever it is, to walk around thinking that you're the best at it is a crazy idea. I'm not saying confidence is bad. It's a good thing.
Right.
You should be confident
but there's
in
a
what
level.
you're doing. But
there's a
you
line.
should never, ever, I feel be no one could, I'm the best at this. Because I think that's when someone creeps up on you out of nowhere.
And you're not.
Fuck.
You're not. You may have been at one point, but time changes. Yeah. Again, back to the point. Yeah. Things change. Time goes. And we are just, again, a blink of an eye of the universe.
Oh,
we're just
dude,
a blink.
we're not even a blink. We're like a fucking 1/1,000,000th of a blink, a billionth of a blink.
I had a student once show me a video. He was like, "You would like this." I was like, "Cool." I looked it up. It was a time lapse of the universe, and it was 40 minutes long.
Oh shit!
I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!"
That kid was smoked out in the bathroom.
No, so I was just like, "Cool, yeah, I'll have to check it out."
Of course.
And then randomly remembered it, had the time, watched it. One of the best videos on a perspective of the universe that I've ever seen.
Nice.
And it was every second time doubles.
Okay.
So the first second and the second second. And it starts with Earth now, and you can see our trees and our buildings, and then it kind of just goes out and out and out. And every second that's happening, it's exponentially getting faster and faster and faster. So they can put, millions and billions of light years into a 40-minute YouTube video.
Oh, okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
And so it gives you the perspective of stars burn out. And that's pretty much what I took away. Oh, stars burn out. Our sun will be gone eventually.
Yeah.
Our planet will too.
But in the length but by the time our sun burns out, that'll be so far beyond our lifetime that it's not even funny.
Yeah, but then that's where we, as like tribalism, we're like, but what about my tribe? What about my humanity?
We'll figure out the next thing, yeah.
We've been here for hundreds of years, and I feel like if I can make a difference, in Elon Musk style, like he's like, dude, this Earth will die.
Yeah.
It's alive, just like anything. It's gonna die, like those suns. It's energy. It's like nuclear.
Eventually, galaxies die.
Yeah,
there's billions.
Just like everything.
Infinite numbers.
It's acceptance.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is that if you think about that and believe all of that and know that the galaxy and the universe is infinite, that means there's infinite realities and parallel universes. Correct?
That gets into
like time theory and all that, right?
And multiple dimensions.
Yes. But if the universe really is infinity, then that means that this...
Right. That means it makes no sense whatsoever.
Yes, exactly. That's what's crazy. But you know what's nuts is that I was thinking this the other day when the lottery was at like 1.7 billion or whatever the fuck it was at. I was like, dude, can you imagine that out of the infinite number of realities, this is the reality
that I hit,
that you hit the 1.7 billion?
Yeah.
Like, how sick is that? Just hitting that in the universe where there's an infinite number of universes and realities, it's got to be astronomical. And that's why the lottery's fake. It's
the
not
Illuminati.
real. It's not real. That's like 1 in 300 million chance that you're going to win this. Really, it's 1 in infinity because there's infinite number of realities.
Right.
And this is the reality you won the lottery in? Oh my God. You gotta be crazy to think that's gonna happen.
But see, I
went deep on that drive one day and I was like, I gotta get out of this because this is too much.
That's funny.
It's too much.
Yeah. I think, it was some kid made a video about the 10th dimension.
Oh, we watched that. It's on YouTube. It's like the 10 dimensions.
Oh yeah, it's
once
years
you hit like
and years
5,
old.
you're like, fuck.
Yeah, it keeps going. I mean, definitely. I mean, you'd think there would be infinity, like though. But there's only 10 that we can comprehend, maybe?
I think they're past 10 now. That was years ago. That was like 10 years ago when we were watching that. I think they've up to like 20 or 30 now.
Yeah, it keeps just walking on. We got definitely more dimensions.
That wormhole, that pool.
So that's like...
If you want to dive into that one,
right.
That motherfucker is too deep.
Well, then, so then back to the Tao.
I like being on the couch with
back
the blanket.
to the Tao.
Okay.
And we've been talking about infinite universes and infinite space time, and so like that's like what it is when you think about it on that level.
No.
I think there's like a probably a religion or an ideology where they think time is God. God is actually time moving.
I mean, that would make sense.
Space forward.
That would make sense.
Yeah, through another dimension. It's it's a dimension. It's the fourth dimension. I do know that.
Because the one thing that applies to every single person in this world is time. Right?
Yeah, but then that's...
Nothing else can... The variables...
Well, then so apparently when
every person's a snowflake. They're different.
My understanding is that when you have the ability to exist in and around each, like, dimension going up and up and up. And so, like, we can control our space. Like, we have 3 dimensions right here, or we have a 3-dimensional universe. They say that there's more dimensions. Yeah. I think the 4th one is supposed to be time, because I mean, you could talk forever about it. Yeah. It makes you sound crazy. Yeah, I was talking earlier about Matrix, because it's basic. It's like dream theory. Essentially, it's like
Inception, when they go to
is this
dream
real?
levels. Yeah.
Is this fake? Yeah. Is this real? Is this fake? And like the Tao is like, you'll never know, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's like you can't look for it. You just got to live it, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe one day you'll be like, oh.
Maybe you'll know, maybe you won't.
I found it. And the second you're like, I got it, you get unplugged and you're back into some fucking crazy-ass Matrix dark world. You know? So why not just enjoy it and just stop fucking stressing about it?
Yeah, but it's funny because then again, I think we've said this, like, then you're stressing about having the tomato on your tuna sandwich because you didn't order tomato on your tuna sandwich.
Well, it's just so easy on a day-to-day act, you know, your day-to-day to get caught up with the little things.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps you trapped in this world.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, this could be an 8-hour long episode.
Yeah, because it's valuable, it's meaningful, it's life. I actually just saw a live speaker recently, and it was a neuroscientist who grew up wanting to study like psychology, but really got into positive thinking, positive. Just when I see those people, I look at them like they are on the path to enlightenment. If that makes sense.
No, it does.
Because you can tell what they're doing is good-hearted. It's intelligible. It's for the good of humanity. That's how I feel. I'm like, oh, you are literally living your life for others, and that's the way I feel like it's supposed to be. And I feel like people, when they get caught up in their own lives, and they have to worry about this, to take care of this, and my responsibility here and responsibility there. And that's when you, like, cut your tie to everyone else.
But doesn't capitalism destroy that, like, ideology?
About, like, what?
Like, living your life to take care of others. But with the capitalism, it's...
So it's definitely, it's a structure, it's a societal structure that we definitely live in 100%.
Yeah.
And we have to learn how to,
like, hey, I'm going to make these shitty burgers and fries and feed it to 1 billion people every year.
But I have to have the money to do
I'm
that.
Make so much money doing it, even though everyone's going to get sick and cancer from it. Yeah,
it's a system. Capitalism, our country, the United States, is a capitalist democracy.
Yeah.
And it's a political structure.
And I'm not knocking capitalism, no, by all means.
But we, as people that live here, which I think is one of the best countries, if not the greatest country, when we are here, we have to learn how to function in that society, be good citizens in that society, while also being a good person on a spiritual level, taking care of each other. And I don't think it affords the opportunity for that, because I think just over the couple hundred years, like, the middle class grows and you got shrinks. The middle class shrinks, so you've just got poor and rich.
Yeah.
Poor and rich. And
well, there are people that see ways to manipulate
a majority with evil. And I think evil exists.
The population, and with that they can rise up above it. And then you have people in a class that, you know, can't see past even fucking an hour from now. I mean, I'm not saying they're dumb, but, like, I mean, there is a different category of people, and
they're malicious.
And some people are like,
I don't understand it.
I can make so much money off of convincing these people that this is a good
to
product.
do this, and it'll kill them, but I'll make
and then
a lot
you
of money, have a good life.
Huge majority of the people that are like, I mean, Pepsi's the best liquid there is, right? And you're like, no, it's fucking water. Jesus Christ, you don't know that? You know what I mean? But that's just, I guess, why we have a low, middle, and high, you know, or upper.
People take advantage of the system. They manipulate it.
Yeah, dude.
But then that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not in that position to manipulate the system and make millions and trillions of dollars.
Me neither.
So what I have to do is survive, because I'm a human being and I'm built that way.
Yeah.
So I learned to survive. And then once I learn to survive, I learn to thrive. And for me, that means mental, emotional health.
Okay.
Physical feels easy. Physical for me, it's like, oh, if I do this too much and I feel like I'm aware of my body conscious. I'm like, you probably shouldn't do that as much. It's impacting you physically. You can tell in this, and this way. It's easy for me to do that. Stop smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
Once I became conscious of what it was doing,
yeah,
clearly stop. Easy for me to do that. You know?
Not easy for some people.
Not easy for some people.
Some people, hardest thing they've ever done.
Exactly. So it's different for everybody, but you have to figure out how to do it. And once we're thriving, we have to help others do that. That's what I think is like
the key.
Yeah, I think that's
passing on knowledge.
I think that's
Sharing
how
knowledge.
we overcome everything. When we can have a certain level of empathy as a human culture to where I'm not going to go do this to someone in the street because it's absurd.
Yeah,
I would never do that. I mean, I wouldn't want anybody to do that to me. It's like the golden rule, right?
Yeah.
You know.
Treat others how you would want to be treated.
Right, but then there's other rules. Hammurabi's law, eye for an eye.
Yeah. Revenge.
You know?
Yeah.
People live by different philosophies, and that's where you have to, as a culture and as a humanity, really focus on it. Because now, our capitalist structure, it's just like afforded, it's entertainment based. It's like celebrity is like a thing that we have, like a concept.
I think if we thought more about our neighbor than ourselves, that this would be a better place. And when you figured something out, or you got a little insight, whatever the case might be, you share it.
Help.
To benefit everyone else in the community. But guess what? I think social media destroyed it.
Yeah, that's social media as a tool for many things. Also a tool to be easily manipulated.
I really think we were you have to look at it and just go, maybe being more engaged with the people in the community around you.
In real life.
Yeah. Was the way that
we maintain
you are going to be able to maintain a sustainable, healthy, happy species for a long period of time. But there are things like in nature and the wild that you come upon that are poison. And I think that social media is that bad barrier mushroom that we ate out in the wild. And
it's killing a lot of people.
We're in the process right now of learning from it and not being
manipulated by it.
Going back to eat it again.
Right.
Right now we're poisoned.
Yeah.
And I think in 20 years, people are going to go that shit was...
Right.
You got to think, cigarettes at one point were the fucking best thing ever invented. Knees. Oh my God. You don't fucking smoke cigarettes?
Yeah. You don't catch a head buzz? Years. You don't catch a head buzz with your boys?
You could smoke a cig when your baby was being born.
Yeah, in the hospital.
The doctor would be like, fucking baby's healthy.
Everybody's smoking cigarettes.
Dude, can you imagine smoking cigs on an airplane?
Think about that propaganda. People looked at, the people in the hype, they were like, we probably shouldn't have done that. Everybody's addicted and everybody's dying from cancer now?
It was at... They're like, yeah, we fucked up.
Oh, dude, they're smoking in hospitals.
Dude, on the airplanes, cars had ashtrays in them. Remember the little cigarette lighter
little
on the car? You push the little thing in, and it popped out, and the coil was fucking...
Cigarette lighter was in every car.
Now they don't have CD players in cars. So, for real, you have to understand, as humanity, we go through times and periods where we think at this point in time, this thing is the fucking best thing that's ever been made.
But for me...
For instance, cigarettes. And then we go, dude...
That was not a good idea. Right.
Although it was tight as fuck, it wasn't that good.
We made a lot of money.
And I think right now the phone is the best tool that we've ever invented. But 100%. We've also developed it into something else.
A tool to manipulate others. From evil people. But that's where this is just me.
Separate.
This is where I try to keep that posy baby. And I'm like, I have hope for humanity.
Oh, I do too.
That we can overcome anything.
Yeah.
As a culture, as a species, humanity, whatever. And I have hope that we can bounce back.
Yes.
And be able to say, hey, look, clearly obvious. manipulation happens.
This is the cigarette.
Just like...
This is our cigarette right now.
Right.
The cell phone's our cigarette right now.
Just look at like war propaganda.
We're addicted to it.
Not even 100 years ago, right?
Everyone uses it, and there's no filter.
Yeah.
This is the cigarette right now.
And so now we have to take this...
We're realizing right now that it's causing craziness.
Developmental
Our
issues
children are insane.
impacted. They're
12-year-olds watching fisting videos.
They're negatively
be
impacted.
happening.
Right.
Just like when 12-year-olds were smoking cigs, they probably still do, but when it was first coming out, like when teenagers
now it's psychological. It's not physical.
We've hit the point where the cell phone is interrupting social media, not the
development.
Because the cell phone's a great thing.
Yeah.
We've hit the point where this thing has now turned on us.
Right. And so through education,
yes,
that's how we're going to do it. Educate people. Tell parents it's not good to give your kid an iPad. It's been scientifically proven that it stunts their growth. It stunts their brain development.
But
it is scientifically
so hard
proven
to be on that side because when everyone else is on the other side, it's like, fuck, man.
That's where you had the crazy people out in the woods in their little communes.
You had to think that there was like a 1% of people when cigarettes were like going on that were like, this shit ain't good.
Of course they were. They were probably picketing and protesting.
I mean, it seems like that's always been the case in our fucking, civilizations. Like, the people that are against it are speaking up. It just are like, hey, okay. They're.
But then that's where I think something like call it podcast culture.
Yeah.
I think that, again, I have hope for it. I think it can be used for good. I think it's going to spread more good than
awareness.
Evil.
Yeah.
Awareness. Just stimulation, but intellectual, intelligent
growth,
meaningful growth.
Like, instead of consuming bullshit Candy Crush on your phone, listen to a good conversation.
TMZ.
We're like, yo, capitalism is destroying this country. We're like, yo, subscribe to our Patreon for $5 a month.
No, dude, but then that's where you get people.
But you're going to get deeper, meaningful, content instead of just being
they know what the purpose is, and they know it's for a good purpose, and that's how you build a good community.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Well.
Yeah. It's great.
I think so. Speaking of good purpose.
I'm excited.
Speaking of good purpose, you guys, we understand that day-to-day life is tough, and that meal prep is tough, and that sometimes the best thing in the world is a nice, delicious pasta, right? Mm-hmm. Don't you love a good pasta?
Mm-hmm. Italiano.
But the worst part about a pasta dish after you just go ham is what? The guilty feeling of crushing that fucking huge pasta dish. Carbs, calories.
The carb coma.
You're just bloated and you're just sitting there miserable. Well, our fucking sponsor, Limp Noodle, has the next best thing in the game when it comes to pasta. And it's diet spaghetti. Going forward, if you want to make a pasta dish, whether it's a chicken broccoli Alfredo, a marinara, a carbonara, a prosciutto, whatever it is,
vodka.
You gotta order diet spaghetti from our sponsors, Limp Noodle. It's the best. It's half the calories, half the carbs, all the flavor. Whenever you invite that girl over that you just met and you want to make her a nice romantic meal, but you know that you're going to be stuffed and you're going to be heavy, you got to get this diet spaghetti.
You got to give her the Limp Noodle.
You got to get the Limp Noodle. You got to go to limpnoodle.com, use promo code ULTRA, and when you add your first 50-pound bag of diet spaghetti to the cart and you use that code word, you're going to be able to take 20% off your first order plus free shipping. So head on over to limpnoodle.com, check out their diet spaghetti line. It's amazing. You're going to love it, and you're going to feel way better about eating your pasta dishes.
So enjoy yourself, pasta lovers.
Enjoy it. Eat some pasta. Don't worry about the calories. Everyone's fit these days. Everyone's conscious of their IG. Everyone wants to look good, but you still want to eat pasta, right? I want to eat pasta.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite pasta?
Me?
Yeah.
Personally?
Yeah.
Probably penne. Isn't that how you say it?
Yeah. Sure.
Sure.
What kind of sauce?
Probably a la vodka sauce.
Well, guess what? You could be going to Limp Noodle and getting that penne. Half the calories, half the carbs.
That's the way you should be eating it.
It's the way you should be doing it.
Right.
Why eat 2 times the carbs and calories when you can get diet spaghetti?
Right.
It's the best thing to go. And our next sponsor is Rulers of the World. We all know that back to school shopping is the worst, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're a parent like myself, a teacher like you, or you were a student at one point in time. Nobody wants to go back to school rocking the same supplies as the rest of the nerds in the classroom. So, our friends, Rulers of the World, are bringing you custom rulers. Go to 12incher.com and get custom rulers. They have,
see-through.
Right now, my favorite, the pronoun ruler. It's got the he, she. It's got the he, him, the she, her, the they, them.
Zize.
Dude.
It's got them all.
It's got all the pronouns
It
on
does.
the ruler. It's amazing. Your friends, no matter what they identify as, are going to love it. But also they have right now the most trending ruler is the Free Britney ruler. Mm-hmm. And we're not talking about Spears. That courtship's over. Mm-hmm. We're talking about Griner.
That's right.
9 years for doing what your friends are doing in the bathroom at school? Come on, Russia. What are you doing? Go to 12incher.com,
mm-hmm.
Rulers of the World.
Again, my favorite is see-through because you can see through them when you put them up to your eyes like that.
I mean, can you imagine being in a math class and pulling out a Free Britney Griner ruler?
No. And then I can imagine looking through that ruler and it being neon green or neon orange.
Oh, I can imagine seeing bars because of the Russian prison.
Oh.
I mean, you're going to see anything. That's all custom rulers.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
No one is going to have anything that you have if you show up with this ruler. All right? So add your first ruler to your cart, use promo code ULTRA, and you'll get 15% off plus free shipping. Again, Rulers of the World, www.12incher.com. Custom rulers. Show up to school, ruling the fucking day.
Being cool.
Love you. I'll see you next time, friends.
Oh, yeah.
Wisdom.